Thank you, Tobias. Grüezi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are. It finally works. I don't know if you can see me online. It's quite light and shadow, but this will also be part of my presentation. Now, to give you already a summary of my presentation, in the next couple of minutes, I would like to tell you two things. First, ABAP Cloud works. And second, SAP can improve in some parts. So please enjoy the next 250 slides. So let's get started. Yeah, I work for the University of Zurich. On the picture, you see our wonderful law library, which is a really cool place to focus. We have a lot of students, 31,000, and a couple of lecturers, and they all use our software. I'm a co-product owner, architect, and team lead, and I'm quite long in the SAP universe. Now, we use software for education and student management, and for that, we use an industry solution, which is called Student Lifecycle Management. The software covers the entire life cycle of a student, which can that you show your interest and you check out what to study at our university. Then you can apply to study. Then you book modules and courses. Then we have the grading process where lecturers enter grades and students receive the grades. And at the end, we print the diplomas with that software. The software is special, a really niche solution at SAP. And SAP in 2016 announced an innovation stop. However, it is part of the S4, which is maintained until 2040. To summarize our strategy, in 2018, we thought we couldn't go on with this. We need innovation. Students don't care if it's SAP or if it's not supported anymore. They just want to have easy-to-use self-services. And we performed a market research because we need innovations. And we came up with the TINA principle. We found out there is no standard solution or there is no alternative for us. And all universities around us also have custom solutions. So we decided, let's not start from scratch, but use what we have as a base and build on top of that SAP industry solution, which is not maintained anymore. But of course, the S4 platform gets innovations to build a custom solution. To understand our solution better, let's quickly introduce our UI strategy. As a user group, it's quite easy. We have students, and it's important students access our solution via the internet. They don't want to use a VPN or something. And this is special, an ABAP solution directly in the internet. That's probably not everybody of you have. And we have a lot of lecturers who enter grades and check out their participants and so on. And we have, of course, the administrative stuff. As a client, of course, the browser is our biggest client. We have business client and also some parts SAP GUI. We have a small native app, but we cannot afford to build everything in the native app. So it's really an edge case. At the portals, we have three. The Fiori Launchpad, you probably all know. We have it for students and also for our internal workforce. But we have two others, which is a publicly available course catalog. You will get to test it in a few seconds. And we have an application portal also live in the internet where you can apply to study at our university. And from the architecture perspective, everything runs on the S/4HANA ABAP platform. We have OData. We use a lot of OData. And for the UI technology, we use UI5 in different flavors. We have Fiori Freestyle, Fiori Elements, and Smart Control, and now also a flexible programming model. Now to the native app backend also uses our OData to consumption. And then, of course, as part of the standard solution, we have this, let's call it legacy UI technologies. We have the SAP GUI Pros and also Web Pro. And this is covered with this very visual theme to make it more common look and feel. Now, it's your turn. I want you to test our product. Like I said, it's available publicly. And I will put on our HANA CPU curve to show you two things. One is that it's live and not pre-recorded. And the other is that we use HANA. So here's the link. And yeah, just let me put on the curve. And the link again comes directly. Let me put it on here. There. One. And number two. Now, yeah. Let me do a split screen. So here and number two. So let us see if you can hit the curve. So our database is currently at 16%. Oh, yeah, you're right. Let's see, it's a little bit tricky technique. Ooh. Yeah, zoom out. Yeah, and let me try it one more. Okay. And the curve. So this is the search. This is not the main page. You can navigate also to the main page. Then you have a decent portal, but I will talk later on about the search. But right now, let me scroll a little bit to the right. HANA curve is not really going up. I think you have to click more. Okay, it's going up, but we are at 30%. Yeah, I don't think we make it right now to 100%. We lost a little bit of time at the beginning, so I think you have seen it. And let me continue. Now let me come back to the presentation. Yeah. All the technique. Okay, so let's come back to the presentation. Thank you all for testing. We use other load tests, not human ones, to check our performance. To tell you all about the project, I have one slide showing where we came from. Before S/4HANA, we didn't have, for this solution, we didn't have a real-time data access possible. This is because we have a really complicated data model in our industry solution. It is a 25-year-old architecture. It is based on HR infotypes and objects, which is not bad because it's time dependent. And most of our business case is time dependent. You have to think of student modules. They are long living. Then you have, of course, the student, and a lot of objects are time dependent. Then we also have language dependent. We offer English and German. And in our case, it's also we have a lot of text, and not every text is translated, and we always have to consider access fallback language. And one object header record is stored in 5 to 10 info types, which you can imagine as a table with special keys. So it's quite a lot of load, and these records can all or have all different time slices. So if you access it, you really have to get the right time slice, and this is a lot of time-consuming procedures. And also to that, we have a lot of business objects. Here you see the visualization. It's quite quite a complex, complicated solution. And to manage it already, from 2016, we have self-service available, but we needed a buffer because we want to offer self-services that students can access, and it wasn't possible with this architecture. So we implemented a buffer, a shared memory buffer, which sits on the application servers. But a buffer means it's not live, and we have to update it. But this was the only way to really offer fast access for self-service applications. And a big advantage of this buffer is it's an isolated solutions. You don't get any benefits from SAP recent innovations. So we thought, is there not a solution from SAP technology? And it could be ABAP Cloud. And let's say, okay, let's do it. It's also in combination with that, we bought HANA, which wasn't cheap for us. And we also said, if we switch to HANA, we also want to benefit from it. So we set up a project, and maybe to a pre-project. We did a proof of concept in 2023, and then the whole project in 1 year. And we went live this year in May. And basically, we have two main project goals. One is to have really a real-time access using ABAP Cloud and HANA technology on our most challenging products to prove that it works and our concept works, and also the investment into HANA works. And the second one is we want to have a modern business object layer with RAP and also EML, because this wasn't part of our old solution. There were a lot of business logic in the DynPro logic and so on, and it really doesn't help if you offer Fiori's. So to understand it more, I have to tell you, what does ABAP Cloud means for us? It's quite a buzzword. And to summarize it, ABAP Cloud really means it's a RESTful, stateless ABAP end-to-end for us. It's client to database. And in detail, let me tell you, because I know our industry or our use case is quite special, not a standard one. Of course, it is CDS with a custom virtual data model. We don't have any SAP standard CDS because there is no one. So everything is implemented custom, which is not bad for us. And a really important thing is also the HANA SQL engine, the relational engine. And then I mentioned RAP. And then we have also, for us, ABAP Cloud also means Fiori Elements, smart controls, flexible program model. And of course, the OData functionality. What it doesn't mean for us is this extensibility and release standard objects, because there are none in our case. And the side-by-side and clean core, really nice things, but yeah. Now let me present you 5 challenges which we had to face, and I will present you also 4 friends who can help you. Of course, challenge number 1, probably most of you know, is complexity. If you have seen the search or the module search, this is the metrics. It's 133 database tables are accessed and 234 views. If you look at the dependency graph, it's a wallpaper. Now, of course, this metrics, it really counts every table, even if it's reused. And in our case, everything has is time dependent, and we have to really on every database table, we have to have some reuse components. So a lot of tables are counted twice, but it's still complicated complicated. But in our case, we have a friend, and you have a friend. This is the HANA Query Optimizer. If you look at this statement in the HANA Planvis overview, it doesn't look that complicated anymore as the down below. And if you check the summary, I don't know if you can read it, it's only 14 tables are accessed there. And it's quite fast. It's 58 milliseconds execution time. Now we reuse a lot of tables, and also the object model reuses a lot of tables. So for different things, the same table is used, like the object header is generic. Now, second challenge, bugs and maybe SAP bubble mentality. We had to face in the middle of the project a HANA sorting bug. And normally you would expect it's about big and small letters, that it's all sorted equal. And also we have some German special letters, but it wasn't as expected. And at the end, this means that some records that customers would expect in the middle are shown at the end. And yeah, we thought, why me or why us? We were not an early adapter of HANA. And in the year 2000, I think it was this year, we experienced it 24. But at the end, of course, we have to come up with a solution, and we know it wouldn't be easy. And we expected it, and it really happened. There was like, we created a support case, and there were like a little bit of bubble mentality between the SADL team and the HANA team. It was because the HANA team said, "Oh, come on, can you not implement a different SQL statement?" And we said, "No, the SQL statement comes from the SADL framework. We can't influence it." But at the end, with a little bit of ping pong, we have a friend, and this is the bug fix, and everybody can benefit from it. It's a recent HANA revision released in July, and this really helps to eliminate this bug. And it's quite interesting that HANA has a lot of engines, and a lot of engines were affected. And we couldn't imagine why we were the first one, but now it's gone. Another thing is technology uncertainty. Our customers demand that they use our solution via the internet and also publicly. And for that, with OData V2, we are live as with anonymous access, and it works fine. But short before go live, we didn't think of it, but we had to experience that OData V4 with default or user anonymous access is not working. This is because SAP implemented it newly, and if you do a $batch request, you get a CSRF token, is not valid error. And yeah, for that, we have an interim solution. We did a modification. And in case of this is your friend. It really helped. Thank you, Andre. I don't know, he's not here yet. He's still. Okay. Okay. Anyway, stay well, Andre.
I stay at home.
Thank you. Anyway, it really helped us. And right now, we don't have a full solution. We have a case opened. SAP said we are planning to include the anonymous access in the next on-prem release, which would be 2025, but it's not guaranteed yet. Now comes a really important part, which might also be interesting for you. It's for HANA performance and high CPU load. We really had an issue after go live that our HANA server was overloaded. We have an event where students book modules, and it just occurs 2 times a year, and there's a peak with concurrent users, and it wasn't really nice. And at the beginning, we said we couldn't buy really any additional hardware at that point in a small time, so we said, okay, we have to dive into HANA optimization. And at the beginning, said, okay, it's a SQL database. We do our statements, and then it's all optimized. But we had to find out it's not the case, and you cannot treat HANA as a ABAP cloud developer as a black box. You really have to look a little bit more deeper into this. And to look deeper into this, you have to know that HANA has different engines. In our case, the ESX engine was used a lot, which is known that it's quite fast, but is really, really CPU intensive in terms of load. And there's the HEX engine, which is a new engine started in 2016, and it's known that it's really fast and moderate CPU load, but it's not really taken in our case. And so we have a friend. This is the HANA HEX engine, and it really helped us. It reduced the CPU time by 300% on complex CDS views, and it accelerated also the response time. But it's quite hard to make your friend help. And if you use SADL in the standard, it won't help you at all. Because, let me tell you a secret how to activate HEX for SADL. You need to have a revision 75, and you really have to enable a HANA configuration saying SADL uses parameter local, and this one you have to pull the switch and say, for this, use HANA HEX engine. Otherwise, 0 statements of SADL are going through HEX engine. And then you have to also check every SQL statement and you put an annotation to that. So in terms of CDS, you have to use this annotation, and if you use the CDS manually, you always have to do for every statement, say, with hint, and so on. And we had to find it out, but it really helps. I think this also, you can benefit from that. Now, after we went live and we had a solution, SAP released a really nice explaining note. What I've shown you there, it's explained perfectly in more details, released just recently. So you can really benefit from it if you want to have take more performance out of HANA, then you read this. And here, a little bit of a wish. I think SAP can do better. And the dream is that the HEX engine is called automatically and you don't have to do a lot of switches and so on. And this will probably happen in the future. We will see. Now, the last challenge, it is the HANA text search. We haven't used it before 2014. We have full text available on our shared memory solution. We didn't have anything with fuzzy, but it really was just, you can, like, from any other web application, you can type a word in small or big letters, and if only it's just the text, even if it's in the middle of the word, is searched, and you get the results. And we had to find out it's not the case, unfortunately, with HANA, because of the fuzzy feature. And here you see a solution with a filter, which we had to implement later. You see 138 records with the filter. Now, if you do the text search, you only get 18 records, and we really had customers were not nice about this and say, "Come on, I don't find my records anymore. What did you do?" And we tried a lot with the fuzziness parameters, but for us it didn't work. And we also experienced this in terms of value helps, that if you enter something, then you get a value which has nothing to do. And here, this is a customizing table. It has just one text, so you can't be excused. It's some text that is not there, and so on. And yeah, we don't have a friend yet on this issue. We didn't have time yet to investigate anymore. If you have a solution, please put it in the chat. We will create a SAP case to see if it's a bug or like works as designed, but it anyway needs to be improved, because otherwise our customers say they don't trust this fuzzy, this text engine. They don't care right now about fuzzy. Now, just to give you an overview, we have much more custom Fiori apps in the Launchpad. We have here like a text maintenance app. We also need to have formatted text, but this is not really special to ABAP Cloud, but just to show that we have a lot of more Fiori apps, and also we have some decent Fiori Elements apps just showing some results for navigation. Now, let me already come to a conclusion. Now, let me point out the highlights. On the photo, you see our covered atrium in our main building, where you see lights. And first highlight is that our industry solution is part of S/4HANA. If it's otherwise, I wouldn't be stand here in front of you, and I would be probably code Node.js or .NET. And the second solution the second highlight is it runs. We are live. We made it. And third cool stuff is RESTful now really works well with ABAP. The OData is really cool feature. Sardlist is really well appreciated also for APIs for our other we have web developers or other consumers who really now like also OData because they understand it's REST. And of course, the performance and efficiency of the HANA Hex engine, what a boost. And if you know how to do it, it's not that much effort. And thank you. The next thing is the SAP people for coming here to ABAPConf. Thank you for coming, and let's give these folks a big applause here. It really helps. And the last thing is the Devtoberfest content in ABAP and HANA. Also for the past years, it really helps us, the 2 million ABAP developers out there that are not from SAP, to get to know the latest technology. And I don't know who the thank goes to maybe Thomas Young and all the speakers. Now, where there is light, there is shadow. And let's come to that. Yeah, I mentioned that in some areas we experience an SAP bubble mentality. That means that some SAP teams don't have a holistic view of the customer and maybe are stuck in their bubble. And let me just give you 3 examples. One was already mentioned, the Adel versus HANA team. Second one is what I experience is the Fiori Elements versus UI5 team. I'm not sure if the UI5 team and the Fiori Elements team work together in a way that we needed as customer. In my opinion, Fiori Elements get not the attention that is needed. And yeah, UI5 focuses on sideshows. So maybe it's time for less web components in UI5 tooling and more attention to Fiori Elements. And yeah, also one example of for ABAP Cloud, it's the RAP stream support. In my opinion, I always learned binary documents don't belong on HANA primary databases, and its customers pay twice for it in the terms of memory on the server memory, and also in terms of some customers pay in terms of license. So, and this our solution is good, but it needs to. I learned that binary documents need to be stored on an archive or content server, and this would help to support it. And also for us, we tried out. I think the UI can be improved. We decided we cannot give it to students. It's not that intuitive, especially in draft mode. If you upload a document and you say, hey, where's my document? And so on. And next thing is about cloud first becomes cloud only. I'm not sure. We made our strategy for our solution based on the promise of SAP that it's maintained and also technically state-of-the-art, the S4 on-prem stack until 2040. And for us, what really hurts is the 2-year release of the technology stack. It's painful in terms of UI5 and ABAP platform. For us, it's a little bit like the communist planned economy. If this feature don't make it to 2015, it will come 2025. It will come 2027 and 2029, and maybe after that we decide already to have a different strategy. So it really it's not that what we expected. The change really came after our decision. And the second thing is I love the cloud. I love SaaS solutions where we will use the integration suite, and it really makes sense for us. But I'm not quite sure. I also understand that SAP has a code split between the public cloud and the on-prem solution. I would have done it much earlier, but I could totally understand it. But for us, it's not quite sure if there will be a code split between S4 on-prem and private cloud, just because of Joule, because of marketing, because of pushing customers to cloud. I don't know. And one example, what also really hurts us there was a Fiori Elements rapid prototyping tool, which was almost finished, and then SAP bought AppGyver, and then this tool never made it. But it's quite, for us, AppGyver really wouldn't help. And the last one is, I think SAP could invest more in ABAP Cloud. SAP is asking customers to invest in S4 and Clean Core and in ABAP Cloud. So I think SAP needs to ensure that it's also adequate investment on their side. I have some examples. The roadmap is behind schedule. Hopefully all these features make it to the next on-prem release, because otherwise we have to wait for 2 more years. And the last thing is, in some areas, CAP is ahead in some features. It's more fun to code, and what's also really right now it's more attractive for young developers, and we all need to have young developers that we also are attractive to people who want to choose their profession and also decided on the ABAP path. With that, I come to an end. Thank you for listening. I will be there to meet the speakers session and answer your questions. Thank you, Tobias, Sören, Fös, and Domi, and for the preparation. Now the technique works. I wish you all insightful presentations. Enjoy ABAPConf.